Oh man, hey. I was trying to do like a hey. It did not work out for me though. Let's see here. I guess I need to change the video game I'm playing, huh? Definitely not playing Yakuza 2 anymore. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Torna The Golden Country. I keep forgetting the name of this game. Okay. Making some social media posts real quick. And I need to listen to the stream audio for a second. Let's buff that noise. Game noise up. Things froze up for a second, but it's probably fine. Definitely didn't drop 350 frames. I'll keep an eye on that and see how that goes. Hopefully.
Good work, everyone.
Oh, won't be bad.
I'm
It's about like 6 hours in.
Let me know if you want
to
to
Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Torna The Golden Age. I think I've updated everything. Yes, that's probably fine. I just got to this area, and I'm gonna mute the stream and stuff. I just got to this area, so I'm not really sure.
Looks like we're out of snacks.
Oh, my lucky colorful salad wore off. So I'm not really sure if I'm gonna stumble across spoilers or anything like that, so heads up. Yeah. Just basically came on this boat and landed at this dock. And I think I did walk around this a little bit, but just kind of poking around. I did solve this just like normal Xenoblade Chronicles 2. You have a bunch of like silly checks to make you do like unlock treasure chests and stuff. It's a lot more manageable in this game though so far, which I like, because you really only have 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's have that many blades, and you're not pulling blades for like random stuff, so everything's just kind of here. Admittedly, it's like, from what I hear, like 20-ish hours, so you know there's a lot less content that you're traversing, but
you're coming with me, treasure.
So probably not going to get right into combat because I still need to go check this town for quests and stuff. So let me just take a look. I'm still dropping frames, which is not making me happy, but we'll see. I don't know why I've had so much trouble with frame dropping and stuff recently. Okay, nice to finish the show. No pawn voice acting so far. That could change. Also, there's a bunch of quests here that like ask you to do some of the basics of the combat, which is kind of interesting. It's almost like they kind of wised up on the tutorial for the game, but I mean, by the time you're playing this,
I hope we'll be able to help.
You know, I would think that you would have played through. It's very likely you have already played through Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and even though there's some differences to the battle system here, it's largely the same for the most part. I do like that so far, like 2 out of the 3 areas have been new. You do go back to like the first area of the main game, not the what's it called, Argentum or whatever it's called, but the Argentum Trade Guild, but like the Gormati. It's like the first big open area of the game you get to. Basically, it's like a grassy highlands kind of thing. I'm not going to read any of this dialogue, so I'm sorry. Also, there's this, I guess this isn't really new. There's other Xenoblade games with this, but there's like a relationship tree kind of thing here. So in Gourmont, I've met 11 people, and it also tells you if you have active quests with them. It also tells you if they have a quest that you're pending to go pick up. So I think all these are active, but if it's like a blue triangle with a question mark, that means that that they have a quest for you to go get. It's not entirely like intuitive because you don't really, unless you remember where they are, which I'm gonna guess.
You're coming with me, treasure.
You probably will not. There's a you have to like teleport to the area first to really see where the quest is. And you can also turn that weird like community menu off that pops up. Oh. Usually even these like basic NPCs will give you like a relationship thing, but it's not popping up here. Maybe I turned it off on accident. Although I just got it from that other guy, so I don't know. Although, like, it's kind of interesting. All these things are just literally just like, here's the tutorial, or do some basic combat stuff to get EXP, and this is a good like 6 hours in. That's something that the first game really could have done better, was the tutorial stuff, but
the suspense is killing me.
But I have liked the pace of this game so far. It does remind me quite a bit of like how Final Fantasy 13 2 kind of went out of its way to get you right into the fray a bit. Like from the start in this game, you have a blade, and I think some of these people are also from the last area, which might explain why they're not popping up on my community list. Because I recognize that dialogue. Let me make sure that, I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing to turn that community menu off. But yeah, I think it's because all these guys are from the last area. But let me just double check. Okay, no, it's still there. It probably is better to skip it, but I'm dumb and want to see the animation every time for some reason. This is probably the first like real town of the game. There are a lot of towns that you're going to, but most of them end up being blown up. so it's very much just like, oh man, just no reasons. Oh, I have a phone alarm going off. Do you like that sound? That's the phone sound. I set that alarm for last week and then proceeded to turn on for every day and then proceeded to never turn it off, even though I don't need it anymore. There we go. We got ourselves a new friend. Torna. So, like, looking at this, like, or really this map in general, you can kind of see the number of regions you're going to be in. It looks like it's maybe 3 to 4 regions based off this. I'd say probably closer to 3. Admittedly, like, these major areas are kind of broken up. Like, this is a very distinct region of Torna, even though I was already at Torna earlier. Hey, guy with a muffin or something? I don't know. I would say this expansion does feel like more laid back than the main game. Probably gets viewed as a negative thing. A lot of the quests are just kind of like fetch quests. A lot of the music is oddly relaxing. It reminds me a lot of like Play Online music. Okay.
Aren't we intrepid?
Aren't we intrepid? Okay. Pick some stuff up. Oh, there's like a bag over there. I want that. I don't know what these bags do yet. I haven't. Getting a bunch of slates or something.
You're coming with me, treasure.
I actually do like the size of this town, though. I think the smaller towns in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 I always preferred. Lord Adam. Okay.
We never turn a blind eye to people in need.
Something I really like about Final Fantasy XIV is that like they essentially let you queue up like 5 quests at once, like 3 to 5. And so right now I have to have like individual markers for each quest and like turn them on and off. You can only you can have like the mainline marker on sometimes alongside a like side quest marker, but it's never. You never really get to mix and match very often. Okay, I think that was most of the questy people here. So let's go out here. Oh, we got some people here. Gonna poke around here a little bit. The whole premise of this thing is that basically there's this militia that Adam, the guy over there on the left with the shoulders, he basically has this army that kind of ended up getting sent out here, and so you're here to like support them.
This is becoming addictive.
A lot of these characters, with the exception of like Jin, Mithra, and Bridget, like don't really get touched on very much in the main story. So it's kind of nice. Like Laura in particular is this lady is like a pretty major plot point to some extent, at least specifically when it comes to Jin and his role in the game. Oh, that's right. I only have 2 people right now. The menus are a little bit different in this game, but I won't bore you with that. I want to change, whoops, this. Iron chip. That would be good. And then Mithra could also use an iron chip too. These are essentially just weapons, if you haven't played the main game. Okay, that's worse. Okay. But yeah, Laura's kind of skimmed over for the most part in the main game. Like, she's there and she's like a motivation factor for Jin. But they kind of just say what happens to her and then call it a day. When a recoverable HP exists, increase damage dealt by 20%. That's interesting. Evade rate's nice. These would be good for what's his name. Okay. I think right now all we need is that strength for Adam. Adam has a weird voice in this game. He looks like he's maybe like 23 through 25 or something like that. Maybe a bit older, closer to 30, but like otherwise, man, he sounds like an old man voice. Alright, let's see what we got here. I think it's just maybe the base level's rarity. Luck, ether, agility. Hey, where's my 25 strength? Did I not buy it? Strength by 20. Ether by 26. Is anyone using ether boosts? I don't think anyone is. No. Alright, let's see if I even bought it. I did not. Wait. Oh, I gotta do that, there we go. I think I pressed right thinking I was increasing the quantity and then would buy it at the end, and I absolutely did not do that. Okay. Alright, Adam. What? Oh, that's right. There we go. You can't equip like the exact same, what's it called? Like a double, you can't do double strength boost basically. Let's see what we got going on here.
I like talismans as much for their design as for their effect.
I probably should have waited to do that, but because I'm gonna do the campfire here real quick. Campfire's a new thing in this too. Basically, you have a bunch of crafting options here, and there's like some extra
Let's
chatting
get down
kind
to
of
business.
stuff.
I know it'll be worth the wait.
I think leveling up and then certain quests will unlock the ability to craft
Don't
different
spoil your
things.
appetite
I need to
before I'm
make this
done.
at some point.
This one I'm quite proud of.
Right now I'm just focusing on stuff that's new.
Time to roll up the old sleeves.
My cooking will make you howl for more.
Let's see.
The
What
white
aroma
perfume.
I was so self-absorbed, I almost burnt it to cinders.
Okay. And basically each character has their own craft. I like the guy who's not here right now. He's kid's named Hugo or something. He's off doing some stuff. He can like craft like party buffs, and I think they're like permanent buffs, which is nice, but I think it's expensive. Not expensive, but like it uses like scrap metals and stuff like that, which are harder to find. Okay. I'm guessing I can't level it up. Oh, yep, I can.
I can still improve. I have to.
And there's Hugo on the right
future
there.
is
He
within
looks
our grasp.
very similar to a main character in the main story,
I
but
shall
he's a
defend my
different
emperor
character,
against all
definitely.
assailants.
Also, that's not his voice. That's Bridget's voice. Bridget's just in our party on her own right now, which is kind of interesting. This game handles blades and stuff pretty differently. I think that's probably one of the biggest things is that, like, in the main game, you have your driver, who's kind of like your core character, and the blades, which were basically your weapon, and you could like modify your weapons. This one, each person is kind of their own character, I guess. Like I can switch over to my blade and play my blade. They all have unique skills. They have skills for when they're in the back row, because basically, like, I'll just go ahead and jump into a battle. But it's it's very similar to the main game, but also quite different.
Should be no problem.
So like the main game, you just sit here and like go punch, and then it builds up the meter on the right there, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and use some of these skills here. I don't know if these guys will last long enough for me to really do too much. Okay, so I'm gonna use this heat. I should have used break first, but that's too late. And then I'm gonna break, and then I'm gonna bring him into topple, and then I also have Jin in here to. So basically, like, I don't know the best way to explain it. Like Laura has two. It's kind of confusing. Laura has two blades, and then she can switch positions with those two blades. But each blade, you have like kind of like an active character, off character, and then a reserve character. So Jin is like my off character right now. So he has a set of abilities he uses while he's in the back row, and he's essentially supporting me. But then I can also switch him out for Haze during combat as well. But then they basically disappear from combat until you switch them back in. Each has a timer between being able to swap, so you can swap between you can swap between I'm losing my words. You can swap between your main character and your blade, but you have a timer basically, and so now I can't switch back until that timer in the bottom left-hand corner fills. And then also there's a timer for switching between blades, so I can switch over, and then Jin has to fill up his timer. I'm actually not sure what determine. I don't know if I can see the switch timer. Oh, the switch timer is the diamond on the left there. Sorry, I just now realized where that is, because I never knew if I could switch or not. So there's kind of like a lot more you have to think about in terms of who's going in what position and who's going to be in what order coming into combat. And the reason I say that is because you kind of want to get two characters in a row who can basically do an effect. So like in this case, if you play the main game, the whole thing is that like you can do a break, you can do a topple, and then you can launch them in the air, then smash them down. And then
aren't we intrepid?
Essentially, you want to kind of get a combo where you can reasonably do that within the time frame you're given. If that makes sense. There's a lot going on in this battle system, and it just I feel like in some ways the changes here make it more confusing. I actually do like the changes a lot, but like explaining exactly what's happening is a pretty hefty challenge, I feel like. Each character also has special skills in this game where you can basically sacrifice something in order for a buff. So I'll do it with Jin here. So on the bottom left-hand corner, there's a right diamond that shows a special skill. So I'm gonna switch to Jin, and then his is like a damage buff, although it consumes HP. Although I'm not quite sure why I can't use it at this time. Sometimes it's available, so I'm not sure if it burns a certain meter. It hasn't really been explained super well so far in the game. Like, see, so she has it from the beginning on this one, so I can sacrifice half of my health to basically get all my abilities filled up immediately. Which is...
Just fine.
Oops, I messed it up. Well, yeah, there's just a lot going on. and maybe I think I streamed this game a little, or the original game a little bit more. It's kind of difficult to talk during it and explain what's happening. And I did a video review for Xenoblade 2, and you know, I kind of talked about how the fact that like there's there's so much going on in these games that often
This is becoming addictive.
you don't really play it perfectly. At the end of the day, you kind of take what you can get and then be satisfied with that. And I think some people can get frustrated by that, like the idea that you'll never really play the game optimally in a lot of ways.
Stay alert, everyone.
This won't take long.
Also, they changed something with the collision in this game, or in this release, and so like sometimes enemies push you around weird. It's not necessarily bad, it's just kind of a weird thing.
Excellent. Laura, let's switch.
Try this on Pete.
I actually think Jin should be behind, if I recall correctly.
Got it. I'm all set.
It still has the elemental combos here. Which essentially has you doing 3 elemental special attacks to create a third final like high damage hit. And this, for some reason though, they actually hide the combos from you rather than displaying them to you all the time. So you just gotta kind of memorize them. It's a weird change, and I don't really know why they did it. I was trying to think of like reasons why, other than just like keep you from staring at the top right corner of the screen all the time. And maybe to get you less invested in what's it called, like having to do specific combos. It does like kind of solve one problem of the main game though, I guess. So this may be why, where basically you end up in cases where like you can't combo anything, and there's not really a lot you can do to get out of it. You just got to kind of sit there and wait, and until until the timer runs out, you're just kind of stuck sitting there waiting for the next ability to do another combo. Oh, weird. I don't think that was supposed to happen. Where's this going? Not close enough. There we go. This game also has the same thing where the other game, where like if you want to do this comboing with the abilities, you have to unlock it first. That's a very valuable skill, I feel like. It's a very valuable skill, and I kind of wish it was unlocked from the beginning, but it's not that hard to get. It's like 2,000 points, and they do a pretty good job, like 2,000 like weapon points. So it took me probably about 5 hours to unlock it, but I also specifically went for it. I feel like if you played the main game, you kind of know that you want to pursue it, but if you haven't, then you know, or maybe you just never got around to unlocking that bit of it, then you may not necessarily know how good it is, I guess. I don't know. I mean, at some point, I guess, like, it's also, you know, personal preference. Oh, Jin. Uh-oh. Okay. Oh!
Damn it! Titan's foot.
I will say that so the nice thing about them giving you a blade at the beginning, and then also they don't really introduce the elemental stuff for a while, which I kind of like. Like, again, the pacing of this is a lot better than the main game, I feel like. And maybe it's just because I've already played the main game, so I already know how all this stuff works. Although, like, it's one of those things, like, I already played Xenoblade 1, so I know how a lot of the core mechanics in this game works already as well.
Ready to unleash an elemental attack.
Okay. Topple. I feel like I want to let her do burnout, but maybe I should do ice. Also, I have a problem with these. I have a problem with every Monolith game where I like their battle system so much that half the time I don't actually pay attention to what I'm doing and I'm just sitting there fighting. And it's not really to grind or anything. I just very much enjoy their combat systems. It's an important element of their game to me, and like at some point, if they were to like, hey, at some point they did do this where in Xenosaga Episode 3, they're like, what if we just made a normal battle system? And I'm just like, why would you do that? Oh, I messed that up. And I messed that up. So yeah, they made a normal battle system with the Xenosaga 3, and at some point I need to look up some opinions on the Xenosaga 3, which sounds like a really dumb thing. I have a very negative opinion of the Xenosaga Episode 3, and I'm sure there are people out there who don't know why this is whiffing the entire time. Maybe it's because he has a back defense? I think that might be why. I don't know. I just have a really negative opinion on Xenosaga 3. Just everything from the battle system to the pacing of the game to the story and like the focus on Xion. And Xion's kind of a mess of a character. And I think she's supposed to be a mess of a character. That doesn't necessarily mean I like that she's a mess of a character. Yeah, I feel like I really just need to someday sit down and like read some well thought out pieces on Xenosaga Episode 3.
Alright, follow my lead.
I probably just need to like look up some reviews and see. Like, I think the biggest problem I'd end up having is if it ended up like a Nier Automata situation where every time I see somebody talk about that game, it's always just about the story. And why are you at school, boy? I'm just streaming because I want to.
Becoming addictive.
Are you home now or what's it called?
This is becoming addictive.
But yeah, anytime I like read anything about Nier Automata, it's just like, ugh. Like, I just can't relate to how people look at the story of that game. And I think Xenosaga is very similar, where I'm like, hell yeah, this is a great video game with a great battle system. And then once you strip that away with like Xenosaga 3, I'm just immediately like, I don't want anything to do with this. Like, this story is just so like, I don't know the best way to put it, like up its own butt about everything, which I don't know, that's probably just me being like really unaccepting of it and like, you know. Oh, I did the wrong one again.
Magnificent. Ice topple.
Ice topple.
Lord.
He said, welcome home. But yeah, that's how I kind of feel about Xenosaga 3. Same kind of thing, where it's just like, I don't really get what the story's trying to say, and I don't really care what the story's trying to say. So.
Aren't we intrepid?
Yeah, I haven't been playing too long. You mainly just missed me like running around town and accepting quests. And then I walked outside of town and then tried very hard to explain the battle system and basically said it's the same but a little different. Hooray. That's pretty much what it is. But I like the changes they made. Like, there's some things that I don't really understand, like the removal of the elemental chart. But I think they're also like trying to keep you from
Stay alert, everyone.
trying to keep you from focusing too much on those main combos, which you need to in the main game because you can't do any other kind of like triple combo, where in this one you can kind of do whatever you want. Whoops, I messed up. Also, I made the mistake of overgrinding, so now everything dies before I can actually execute anything of value. How was school for you, boy?
Aren't we intrepid?
I don't miss school. I tell you this every time. Like, I hated going to school. my whole life, pretty much.
Aren't we in Trek?
I think there's like some nostalgia of just like, oh, when I was in school and like not having to take care of myself to some extent, like not having to worry about paying bills, and like, oh, I could kind of be a garbage person, but you know, that's not a position that you're in, and that's also, if I went back to school, I would have to still take care of myself, and it would just be shitty.
This is becoming a nature makes a fine app.
Okay. Oh, I got some stuff. I
You're
don't really know what I'm
coming
doing.
with me,
I should be
treasure.
probably going to the quest marker is probably what I should be doing, which is this way. But yeah, I'm like 4 or 5 levels above everything up here right now. Quest is this way. Kill the big guy. He's level 35. I don't know. I'm gonna guess maybe the point is not to go in there right now. Draw away with food. Herb Armus. I think I've killed a bunch of these. Okay. Armus carcasses. Okay. Run back. Is that one? Nope. I don't really keep track of the enemy races in Xeno games. They're just
This is
kind of,
becoming a native.
I don't know. Their names are not particularly memorable. I think every time I have to like look up a wiki and be like, where the heck is that thing? This game not so much, but the Xenoblade Chronicles X I feel like is a very like, hey, just pull up a wiki
These guys should be
and
no problem.
never close it. So,
Let's speed this up.
I don't know if I can combo out of that special that I use.
It's my turn. Topple.
I wasted that.
Let me magnify that for you.
Diver combo complete.
There we go.
Zero blade.
That was an excellent
They
battle.
also are pretty quick
I
to
shall
give you
record
like
this in my journal.
the ability
sure
because
that
they
would be
can sit there and
profound
actually
insights to
tailor
be
these
found
blades
in
to you because
we
you're not
enjoy-
actually
Make sure
just
to note how
randomly
great I did,
getting
okay?
blades out.
Thanks.
You truly are incorrigible.
They give
Mithra.
you the break launch or break topple launch smash combo
we
very
intrepid?
early on. The second character you get, Adam, literally has a launch and a smash. So, and then your character has a break and a topple. I need to go find the other one. He's over here. There he is.
These guys should be no problem.
I'll be really curious to see if like
The rear guard would suit.
Monolith does kind of learn from this game.
Speed this up.
I feel like there's a lot that they kind of got wrong, and a lot that they can get right still. Like, I think even this game shows they've learned quite a bit from. I'm not doing this right. My brain stopped working. It's very hard to talk and play this game.
Let me magnify that for you.
Magnificent.
But like just being able to, you know, combo without having to do a specific order of things, and like you're not going to be doing the most damage, but at the very least you're still
Nature makes
you're
a fine
still
ally.
doing the combo, you know. And it just makes it easier. I feel like it's less strict in that regard, I guess. whole game just feels less strict in general. It feels a lot more user-friendly. I used to always joke about how
I think we've been spotted.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is like the most unfriendly game they've ever made. Not even joke, I mean it just is. Like it feels like it wants you to not play it a lot of the time. As much as I like it, that's a problem that it has. I need to try to see if I can combo out of that at some point. Oops, I messed up. Wait, did I mess up? Okay. There we go. Heat break.
Dragon! This is becoming addictive.
Okay. I like the music in this game a lot too. There's some tracks in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 that I like, but this music is pretty chill. This song actually reminds me a little bit of like Twilight Town and Kingdom Hearts. There's one for you, Anthem Boy. Just drop. Like that noise just boom. Okay. Get that key. Thank you.
This is becoming addictive.
The behemoth stuff in Monster Hunter World looked kind of interesting. I like that kind of stuff where like a crossover not only like says here's a behemoth monster, but also it works in mechanics from the other game. In a shallow way, but one that's like, oh hey, you know, that's the Final Fantasy 14
Aren't
thing.
we intrepid? Spotting for a fight. Happy to oblige.
Oh no, my battery's low. I have to find my charger. I actually don't know where it is.
You shall not prevail. Now the real
Yeah, I need to figure out if I can combo out of that. I need to actually try it rather than just stare at it dumbfounded every time. Oops.
just my flames burn the hottest. My apologies.
Oh, Bridget! Bridget's kind of in a weird spot right now because she can't heal. The healing mechanics in this game are based around switching characters. So like, I have that red part of my bar, and it's kind of like pulled out of a fighting game almost to some extent. Not exactly, but basically the idea that like the character who's in the back basically has like a amount of HP. I need to do something. Like switching out the character like kind of restores health to some extent, which fighting games kind of look like that. It's a little different. It's like, I'm trying to think the best way to explain it. I don't know if there's a heat.
We make such a wonderful team.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a heat light combo. There's a no. I don't know if there's a light heat combo. There's a heat light combo.
I'll drink to that.
Aren't we intrepid?
I honestly don't remember the combos of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 well enough to really make use of the stuff. I should actually turn a quest on rather than just fighting everything. Again, the problem I have with these games is I just fight everything. I just never stop. Oops, I didn't mean to do that, but that's okay. Oh, let's do ice. You can kind of tell what a combo will be because there will be a special name for an element. I should probably switch out Haze for a bit, and I can also change. Actually, I can also change the element of The thing is, Jin's just such a good damage dealer right now. I want him in my party. I can also switch out the weapons, and as far as I can tell, the weapons aren't like stat focused. They're more element focused. So you can basically change the element of your driver. So they're basically like a customizable blade in that regard. Okay, let's turn. Oh, and I need to get a charge cable. So 1 second while I do that. I gotta return that. That's fine. What is the objective for this right now? Okay, well, I'll check that in. I wonder... I felt like I got more quests than that, but...
We're out of supplies.
Your dumplings are out. Okay, let me get this cable real quick. I think my Switch might be literally the only thing that uses USB-C that I own. I'll be curious to see how long it takes for USB-C. I really don't know the benefits of USB-C versus like traditional USB.
I think we've been spotted.
Like, I don't know if it's just a connector type or if it's like improved or anything like that.
I feel you.
I guess they had backup. Real roses.
Soon, wind break.
Okay, so it looks like I have a Cyclone as a level 2 for wind,
Rest in peace.
which actually might be a good selling point for Haze.
Let's switch. Technoblast. Star Slash.
Haze is basically just my healer, and so like I feel like at this point in the game I'm so overpowered that I never use her because I'm sitting here fighting some, like, I have no idea how I got in that fight, why I got in that fight. I just saw them in front of me and killed them. Admittedly, I think part of that's streaming too. I'm not really able to focus on like a clear goal. Oh, minerals,
Aren't
give me
we
that.
intrepid?
There's still some of the micromanagement stuff like in the main game where you don't unlock abilities until you go in here and like do this. Like, it's a silly extra step. I don't know if they ever patched it to resolve it, but like if you don't, I don't know if it's true for the attack stuff, but like for field skills, if you don't go into that menu and look at the fact that you unlocked it, it isn't considered to be unlocked.
Let's
basically.
get down to business.
It's basically
I know
considered
it'll
to
be worth the
be.
wait. It's ready.
It's basically considered to be
Stitch by
inactive,
stitch.
or that you haven't earned it.
can make.
My cooking will make you howl from hunger is the best spice, right?
I like these little card
So
images.
this should
I hope
be
at some
delicious.
point somebody
I was
rips
so self-absorbed.
the pictures from
I
the
almost
game. They
burnt
look
it to
kind of low
cinders.
res. I hope there's like a high res version of them. They're cute little cards. I'd like to see the art for those. Okay. So let's go turn this key in. And these are like the scrap metal things I was talking about. Basically, instead of salvaging, you just basically find these salvage capsules that are rusted out and stuff. And you have to unlock certain you have to basically get certain tools to salvage stuff out of them. So instead of having like a silver cylinder that you jump for, you have tools to excavate the silver cylinders. But there's no like, it's not like a consumable. You just continue, you make it once, and then you can continue to excavate the same cylinders over and over again. I like the drivers a lot in this game, and I feel like that's true for the main Xenoblade 2, where I think the drivers are some of the strongest characters.
You can rest easy
which
now.
may seem like a silly thing to say because it's like, oh, you know, they're the main characters, but
Mick, mind cutting the veggies?
the blades can be, especially in this game, I feel like the blades are a little flat. Especially since like a lot of their development happens in Xenoblade 2,
You're pretty good at that.
which is like, you know,
Really? Anyone could do it.
far in the future.
Looks good to me anyway. Then I
They
think
kind of
I'll
already
get to
solved
the
their problems, I feel like.
meat. Oi! Mithra!
Maybe Mithra is the only one that feels like she doesn't have
What are you doing?
her
Preparing the meat,
development.
of
Yeah.
course.
I don't know, that
Their
just looks
eyes
like
not
hair
working
or something. Spraying into that bottle.
I'll cut it out. Back away and don't touch anything.
What? But why?
Seems like fun. Why don't I help, too?
Don't encourage her. You wouldn't talk that way if you knew the atrocities of Mithra's cooking.
Atrocities?
Am I still dropping frames at all? It looks like I have dropped frames, but I don't think it's happening consistently. The anime joke of terrible food. Oh. Oh. Oh.
It does more damage to you than
I don't
any
know why
artifice
Japanese
ever
games
could.
like censor their awful food all the time. I mean, if you put in Breath of the Wild, they do it too. Where like if you make the dubious food, it's also
Or else they
censored out.
need things like that.
Mithra,
Yeah?
can I borrow you?
What is it? I'm about to help with dinner.
Laura, you too? Would you mind sparring with me, please?
I don't mind, but
Why don't I help with the cooking?
oh, well, all right then.
Jin is a good cook. He's considered the best cook of the team. I think. I don't know. They actually like have a few people who can make meals, and they make different types of meals. And I think like I think Mithra's meal type is like special cuisine or something like that, or odd cuisine.
Thank goodness.
Surely it can't be that bad.
You could always try it out.
Handsome boy Jin.
Ah, perhaps not.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize that lettuce got like really tall in that bowl. Time to kill Golgos. So yeah, most of Jin's development I feel like happens in cutscene after cutscene. Okay. Most of Jin's development happens like in Xenoblade 2, and this
We're
is just
such
kind of like
saps.
you kind of see the earliest parts of his Like, I guess like the earliest parts of where his story starts in here, but it's kind of...
This is becoming addictive.
He has a big change between, I guess, what would be this and like the DLC, or this and then the main game, and so like he's kind of just kind of a normal guy right now. We're just kind of an asshole in a way that that feels very, very strained at times. Like it feels like her character exists solely to give Mithra a hard time at times. And then Mithra is just kind of like, I don't know how you put it, like immature or something. Basically, she's just like very amateurish in how she acts and fights. Even her like blade attacks look really harsh in a way that don't have the finesse of the main game, I feel like, which I don't really know if that's like a intentional thing or not, because everyone has new attack animations in this game. I don't think anyone uses the same attack animations from the first game. Community. I met a new person. Okay, I need to go turn this thing in. Whoops.
Aren't we intrepid?
Very intrepid. Give me the stuff. Thank you. I think I'm going to look into buying a webcam tonight. I was looking at one that has like a light on the front of it almost, like to help with lighting. Because I really don't know anything about lighting when it comes to cameras. And I'm going to guess whatever this does probably is very basic. But I'm going to read some reviews on it first. Yay, recipes. And then when you finish quests, you get a little extra blurb of text here. So it says, thanks for your help and stuff, and like over here you can have let me see. So yeah, each character after you finish their quest has a little blurb to kind of tell you what they got out of you helping them and stuff. I mentioned it earlier, but you can turn that menu off if you don't want it. I leave it on because otherwise I'd forget about that stuff being filled out. Okay.
This is becoming addictive.
I'm not sure how high like the level stuff goes in this game. I'm already on the 4th row of a lot of these characters in terms of unlocking trust, but then again I'm also killing a lot of stuff. And doing a lot of the quests. Is there any other quests over there before I go down here? Okay. It's this one.
I said I'd do it, so consider it done.
Okay. Yay! We met a new man. Okay. All right. Not really sure how big this area is. I think this is kind of it. I could be wrong.
This is becoming addictive.
I do like that the areas feel a lot more compact in here. Like, they're compact. They're open. But compact. If that makes sense. Like there's more key features. Oh, hello.
Happy to oblige.
Apparently this totem pole is an enemy. Oops. I forgot to use my skill.
I guess they had backup. You shall not prevail.
My senses are heightened.
Ready to unleash an elemental attack. Okie dokie. Break. Now,
Bridget is like my tank, but she can't heal at all. Which, thankfully, nothing's particularly challenging here. But until I get Hugo back in my party, she's just gonna kind of die. So I think ice to ice. Wait, no, wind to ice makes ice wind. Then I'm not sure what happens after that. Let me. Oh wait, I didn't do that. Oh, too late.
best of luck. Take this. Try this out.
Also, apparently Laura launches. I didn't realize that.
My flames burn the hottest. I shall defend my emperor against all assailants.
Okay. What is still? Oh, it's the totem pole.
Elemental attack.
I'll give you a hand. Let me magnify that for you.
Back into the fray.
Okay. So I think I need to do
Addictive.
wind to ice, and I'm not sure what the last one is out of that. Let's see here.
Spoiling for a fight. Happy to oblige. Heat haze.
Let me try to get as much
You shall not prevail.
meter as I can at this point.
You shall not prevail. You shall not prevail. I'm all set. Heat haze.
Ah, dang it, he died already.
It's my turn. We're in perfect sync. Take this. Elemental attack. Best of luck. How about this?
Okay.
You were mad.
Lightning to heat is flame bolt.
Let me magnify that for you.
Elemental attack. Ready. I need your help here, Jin.
Whoops.
Good.
Slice of nothing. So fancy
Midnight
to
sun.
cut some grass.
Excellent decision.
Give me this. Give me this. Give me this. Give me this.
The suspense is killing me.
But yeah, I don't know anything about lighting, so I think that camera will be a good choice if it does some basic lighting. I don't know if at that point I need to like play games in the dark. I have my lights on, but at the same time I just have like a
We made it. Good
I guess you'd
stuff.
call it like a floor lamp or something.
Follow my lead.
And
Heat haze.
like I think you could see it maybe during the girlfriend cam stream where where the light kind of appears as like 3 dots.
I guess they had backup.
Called it.
Try this on
Star Slap.
We want heat or flame bolt.
Heat haze.
If I don't do it,
But
Take this.
I guess I'm just going to use this. I probably need to get Jen on my party. Oh, this is a stage 4.
Great.
Not only is Jen super strong, oh, and he's dying. Not only is Jen super strong, but use heat. I want to see what you do when you use heat. Too late.
Excellent.
She's dead. Dead and I feel like Ice isn't really comboing with anything, but he does so much damage. But that's also like part of the reason why I can't do combos right now is because Jin like just burns through everyone.
Heat haze. Heart of thorns.
Oh, gosh.
You shall not prevail. Heart of thorns. Keep up the
I
pressure.
feel you.
Whoops, I messed up. That's okay.
Best of luck. Try this on for size.
Which I'm not sure if this game, and maybe this is a problem in me fighting everything. I don't know if this game's ever gonna get to the point where like I feel like I'm fully utilizing each of these skills and stuff. I feel like whenever, and this is maybe true of all Xeno games, is like even if you can fill out the damage you need to kill bosses, typically you don't have the health you need to make it work.
Speed this up. Spinning wheel.
Senses are heightened.
You read my mind. Hey, with real feedback.
Like a boss will just tear through you if you're too low level, even if you have the damage output to hurt them and take it down relatively quickly.
I'm about as nimble as you are, royal.
I'll drink to that.
These guys should be no problem.
I'm trying to think if there were like many places like this in the original Xenoblade, or in Xenoblade 2, where it just feels like you're kind of in the nook and cranny of things, but there's like a thing there.
Keep up the pressure.
Just don't let up. You all give me the strength to fight
You
on.
shall not prevail.
I feel you.
I think Xenoblade 2's world is fine, but I don't think it was like particularly great. That's probably something that I probably should have like explored more when I was reviewing the game. But hey, you know, too late. I feel like the Xenoblade 1 and to some extent 2. I mean, 2 had a lot of open like empty space as well. But once you got the mech and everything, it felt a lot more distinct because like each area was kind of like shrunken down at that point, and so like something that felt like a big huge like area to explore at first when you're on the ground eventually becomes like a footpath where you spend like a second or two in it driving over it with your mech.
The suspense is killing me.
But yeah, just like these little encampments and stuff just feel a lot more
This is becoming addictive.
valuable, I guess, or like more distinct and interesting to explore. Xenoblade 2 has like the mines and stuff, but I don't know. That whole game just streams, and you know, when you read about the development of the game, just screams like we didn't have the money and people to make this like as good as it probably needed to be. As much as I like the game, again, like the core stuff that's like down there is great.
Let's speed this up.
Heal while there's time.
Now the wheels are handed.
Let's see if we do this. He's all
Heal
over there.
while there's time.
I'm fine. Just fine.
Let's switch.
Yeah, I got iced. Dang it. I'd like to see the combos a bit more. Also, Jin is just like getting messed up.
I'll give you a hand.
Whenever you're ready.
Dragon. Pull back and catch us up.
Open wide. Rest
Hey, wheel.
catch.
Keep up the
I
pressure.
probably shouldn't be burning all my health at the beginning of the
That's
fight.
reassuring.
I want to though.
This is becoming addictive.
Okay, got that. That's a boss.
You're
I can probably
coming
kill
with
him.
me,
He's level
treasure.
25.
Think they'll leave us alone if we ask
okay.
nicely.
Apparently that was far enough to get him to like me. Oh, although you know what, with Bridget, not Bridget, Brigid, as she is, I don't know if I have the. Also, I'm missing a bunch, but I'm essentially tankless right now.
Want me ready to ready to unleash an elemental attack.
I feel you.
Pay attention.
Now that's take this. Elemental attack.
Oh man! Don't die, Jin.
I'm not done here.
Where is the? Dang it!
My promise.
Brigid, revive us, please.
Jin, look to your mistress's protection.
Appreciate it, Bridget.
Elemental attack.
You're not done yet.
Get him up.
Think you'd be
And I don't think there's yeah, there's no way I'm gonna get enough to do the triple on this. Oh, I should have done it. Well, I could. Okay, you know what? I should have taken Hayes out because he's my healer. Okay, do something while I try to switch.
Great change. Giving up yet. I refuse to fall. Magnificent.
Recipes.
Really put my foot in it, haven't I?
I should have had Hayes out. Is
We
what
can
I should
take
have
them on
done.
a bit later.
We'll avenge ourselves next time.
Or switch to Hayes. Am I gonna die? Okay. I did not die, thank you. We'll try again real quick, and then after that I'll go leave. And I probably won't stream too much longer, I feel like. Okay, let me kill these guys.
Follow my lead.
Hopefully that guy leaves us alone for now.
Haze. Heart of Thorns. You shall not prevail. You shall not unleash an elemental attack.
Oh, whoops, I hit the boss. I forgot that's an AoE. Alright, let's see what we can. Adam, don't die!
I'm not done here.
I'll give you a hand.
Zero blade.
Magnificent.
So I need to do...
No black.
I need to switch to Haze. That's what I need to do. I keep forgetting. Thank you. I cannot switch to Haze right now.
And you want to be
Great change. Magnificent.
Okay, well. Hey, Bridget's still alive. Oh, you know what? The leader, if the leader dies and you have no party energy, I think you get kicked out.
There's no time to delay. But still,
Alright.
we need a new strategy.
I'm gonna run past these guys.
I think we've been spotted.
Let's see how far this goes. Yeah, so there's the bridge. But yeah, I think all these areas, other than like the areas that were in the original game that are back in here, are a nice size.
Uh-oh. I think we've been spotted. Heat haze. Heart of Thorns.
I'm gonna make a mistake and
Let's speed this up.
burn health.
Elemental attack ready.
I'm all set.
Catch. Ring of roses.
Magnificent. Wind break.
I'm ready. The wheel.
Heal while there's time.
Wind topple.
Elemental attack ready.
Oops, I did that a little too early.
Magnificent. Ice wind topple.
This wind.
This'll soon be over.
bring the paint.
Star slash.
Elemental attack
Ready. Take this, mighty lightning.
And that's something I need to do more is like switch between Jin and Haze.
Doing the healing.
At this point, I don't really do it enough.
ready to unleash an elemental attack.
Great change. Magnificent.
Bring the paint. Is this your liking?
Ready to unleash an elemental attack.
Wind break. Wind topple. Launch wind.
Launch wind.
Launch cyclone.
You're a keen observer. To deal with all these encounters.
Oh yeah, I guess that's probably enough streaming for tonight.
One less problem in the world.
Oh, I might keep playing, but maybe not while streaming. I'm curious like how high that goes. I'm gonna guess it doesn't go too far though, based off what I've been seeing so far with these areas. Like, yeah. So this looks like the most of the map here, probably. And it looks like maybe there's like a zone up over here that we passed through. Or maybe it's just like a thing up there. And this is the first area of the game, you know, pretty straightforward. Kind of go through, then you have this like pocket of an area here with like a bunch of stuff to, or not a bunch of stuff, but like a handful of things to explore. But then you do go, you know, to Gormont, and you just get this whole map again. But it kind of keeps you in this area, which I guess the main game kind of did too. But I feel like the focus for this map, I feel like the focus on this game, it's a little shifted. So it's a little more like this very edge corner over here is where a lot of the content is happening. And then there's a little bit up into like right up here. And I feel like in the main game, you spend a lot of time kind of over here and then up here. At least in terms of side content, there's a lot of stuff between this area here, and you don't really touch this area in the DLC, which I think is fine. I don't really like that area that much. I would say I'm not a big fan of Gormont. But yeah, so it looks like 1, 2, probably like 4 regions in Torna based off that. And then I would say, you know, probably whatever that thing is at the top is probably an area 2. So I'm gonna guess it's just those 3 places. There's those little islands in the middle there, so maybe there's something with that. I don't know. But it's pretty small. But I kind of like it. I kind of like that it's small. It's a nice change of pace. That I feel like the original Xenoblade was not particularly like excessively big. Where like Xenoblade Chronicles X is kind of excessively big, but Xenoblade Chronicles X is more like you literally can just swim across the ocean to the last area of the game at the very beginning of the game if you want to. Like, you don't have to go into town, you don't have to go see anyone. As far as I know, you just have to basically run north, get to the water, and start swimming, and you can go all the way to the end right there. You won't be able to do anything, but you sure can't do it. Obviously there's like more like story progression and stuff that happens at that time. You can't just like go fight the last boss. It's not like a Breath of the Wild kind of thing. But it's pretty open world. I need to get back to that game at some point, but for now, let's go play some more Torna. Hopefully beat this week, and then I get Valkyria Chronicles 4 this week. I think I might try to shove Blade Strangers in between this and Valkyria Chronicles 4. Just play through some of the story modes in Blade Strangers. I'm gonna guess that game's not particularly deep. We dropped some frames, but not so bad that I'm like find it offensive, I guess. Like when we were doing the when I tried streaming Phantasy Star Portable 2 Infinity originally, the frames were dropping pretty bad. So I don't know, we'll see. I'm probably gonna stream Ghost Squad tomorrow, and then I think Super Monkey Ball is the other game. For the 2 games I was going to stream. I don't know if that's going to be enough content to fill 2.5 hours, but I'll make it work. Worst case scenario, maybe I'll play more of this if there's not enough time. I think Ghost Squad should be fine. We'll probably just, play through the 3 main modes of Ghost Squad, but, you know, as an arcade game, it's not going to be particularly long. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll go ahead and plan something ahead of time rather than just go in there with no plan at all. Maybe we'll go through caves. There's no caves would take a lot longer than the time I'd like to spend between Ghost Squad and Super Monkey Ball. Well, I might stream caves at some point for some reason. Who knows? My Dreamcast is still on my my desk. I also haven't worked on like any. I haven't worked on like any articles this week. I've just been chilling. I should work on articles and stuff. But, yeah. That's it for now. Hope you have a good night. Bye.